Good morning, everybody. Well, we're back. Rainy day in South Florida, and I hope it's nicer for you folks around the world. Uh, don't quite have our full staff today. We've got my son Stu off. He's in Germany, as a matter of fact. But Nancy and Rick, Jonathan, and I are here to help entertain you, educate you, probably aggravate you a little bit. But it's fun, a little aggravation. Hey, it gets the mind ticking. You start thinking about things. I've got a lot of things to think about. I can't think of a industry, the retail or the wholesale, the manufacturing, that's in more turmoil than car dealerships and auto manufacturers. I mean, it used to be that, car dealerships came and went. There's thousands of them, but one would go broke, another one would go back in business. But it didn't happen all that much with the manufacturers. Now, the manufacturers are, well, what's the word? They're panicking. they, they don't know where to go. Electric. Front page automotive news. They're going to stop trying to build hydrogen cars. It's almost laughable that the manufacturers would have to announce that. I mean, listen to this. There's 53 hydrogen filling stations, if you want to call it that, 53 in the United States. I mean, there's 50 states, and most of those are in California. So the manufacturers' front page automotive news, maybe we're not going to be building hydrogen cars after all. So yeah, it's crazy. And now the same thing is being the hybrid versus all electric vehicle. And the combustion engine folks are not dead. They're still talking. Where there's life, there's hope. I mean, think about it. There's a huge market out there for a car. You buy a car, and it's got an engine, and it's got a carburetor, and it's got a coil and an ignition. And I mean, there's a lot of people my age and not quite my age, but I mean, if you're 50 or 60 years old, when you think car, truck, you're thinking combustion. And most of the cars on the road now are combustion. The truck drivers, boy, they're hardcore. I just these guys, and they're mostly guys. I'm not slighting the females. Certainly females drive pickup trucks, but it's a macho thing with a guy, and we see them all the time. Nancy and I drive around in Teslas, and the guys in the trucks just don't like us. I mean, it's a political statement, but we're not political about it. We're just interested in technology, and we're learning a lot every day about our electric vehicles. They're a lot of fun. So anyway, that's the exotic stuff. Now let's get down to what most of you are really interested in. Hey, I got a car. It's squeaking or it's rattling. Hope it's not rolling, but it's making noises, smells, something happens. And I got to get it fixed. And I just don't want to go and get ripped off again. I don't want to go into a car dealership, or I don't want to go even an independent repair shop and have them say, well, let's see. Yeah, we can eliminate that squeak. It's only going to cost you $3,500. You don't want that, and I don't blame you. But you don't have a degree in mechanical engineering, and you're not a technician. So what are you going to do? Call Rick at 877-960-9960. Rick Kearney, our certified diagnostic master technician. I walked into the studio this morning. What's the first thing I did? I asked Rick about what I'm driving. I had an issue with my tires, and he explained it to me. So I've been a car dealer for, it's been so long I forgot, over 50 years. And this is what you want to question before you go in and are taken advantage of, or sometimes you just live with it. That smell, that noise, and then you take a trip and then you worry about it all the way on the trip. What if something breaks and I'm on the side of the road and it's Sunday night at 2 a.m.? I guess that would be Sunday morning, right? You don't want that to happen. So write this number down, please. And Rick will answer your question. He won't charge you for it. He may tell you, hey, you got nothing to worry about. You're going to be fine. Or he might say, you can buy this part on Amazon, or if you're going into a dealership or an independent, tell them this is exactly what's wrong and this is what I should pay. Loaded with that information, you're going to save a ton of money. So write this number down, 877-960-9960. Got that? 877-960-9960. And you texters that don't like to call radio shows or streaming shows or whatever we are and be live on the air with tens of thousands of people listening to you. Ooh, I got scared just talking about it. I'm only kidding. I love it. I don't worry about. I just try to speak the truth. Sometimes I give out misinformation, but it's not on purpose. So I feel like I've got nothing to fear with live radio. But some people value their privacy more than I do. And again, that text number. Write this down, please, if you haven't got a. If you do have a minute, 772 area code 772 497 6530. 772-497-6530, text number. And the call-in number is 877-960-9960. Now, my co-host and my wife, my female advocate friend, is Nancy Stewart. She watches her laptop, and when a call comes in, we prioritize phone calls. So we'll try our best not to keep you waiting. We have complaints still that we called in, all the lines were busy. We got 5 lines, so we try to get them out as quickly as we can. Every now and then we get a really interesting or critical caller, and they stay on the line longer than average, and then sometimes the calls back up. But we try our best to turn those calls over, and Nancy will answer the phone. And again, if you are a female out there, when Nancy answers the phone, she will give you, if you haven't called the show before and you're female, she has a surprise for you, a real pleasant surprise, and she'll tell you about that. So 877-960-9960. And I'm always looking at her. I mean, not just because she's pretty, but I'm looking at her. I'm looking at it because she waves at me, because I get, I could talk for 2 hours all by myself, and that's what happened if I did that. I'd be all by myself. You'd all, go home or whatever you do. You turn off your headphones or radios or streaming or whatever you got. Anyway, we have about a 50-50 female audience. We're very proud of that, and women are coming into their own finally. And they still got a long way to go. Or I should say we have got a long way to go, meaning the men that have created this issue with not allowing women all their rights. And it's a very sad thing. It isn't something that should happen in the 21st century, but it still is. So let's call a spade, and it is happening. So Nancy is a female advocate, and if you guys are going to go to battle with her, you better be careful, because she's tough, I know. And I learned the hard way. You don't want to cross Nancy, okay? So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Nancy, and she will tell you about this special offer she has and how to get in touch with us, all that kind of stuff.
I'm going to come across this desk and give you a big hug.
Oh,
Rick was scared there for a second. Okay, yep. Folks, seriously, 877-960-9960. 877-960-9960. I have a question for you from the Consumer Report Road Report. Hopefully everyone has one in their hand. Should I buy a used electric vehicle? Here's some information for you. Used EVs tend to depreciate sharply, making them a better value for the second owner. We'll talk more about that later on in the show. Our mystery shopping report from Gunther Mazda Plantation. Stay tuned for that about 9:30. And for the ladies, as Earl stated. I think that I think for the auto industry, there's a one and only word that I can think of, and that's better education. They need to be educated. The auto industry is something that the female has their claws into, and we've made a huge impact on that industry financially. So you just don't want to ignore, the female buyer. With that said, I want to introduce our first caller, and she is a first-time female caller. Her name is Marilyn. Good morning, Marilyn, and welcome to Earl on Cars.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
And you're spot on.
I can.
Education,
Okay.
absolutely professing. Education is
We
key.
had a slight interruption. Hold on a second, Marilyn.
Okay.
We good?
Sure.
We good?
Absolutely. We had a little slip there, but no worries at all. We're right back on track, and I'm here if you need anything else.
Do you want to hit that mute button?
I hit the mute button. This is our ChatGPT that's running wild, totally out of control, and I don't know what to do.
Go ahead.
Hi, Marilyn. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Marilyn,
What can we help you with?
before we get started, I just want to remind you to stay on the line once we're done talking, and you can speak to Jeremy. Give him
Okay.
your contact information. He'll give that to me. It'll make it just a little easier for me to get that check out to you for $50. And I want to thank you on behalf of all the ladies that are listening. What can we do for you this morning?
I owe you 50 if you've got an answer.
Oh, boy, it sounds pretty serious. Okay, we're listening.
Okay, it's not serious, and that's one of the reasons
Staying
why
quiet until I hear that cue.
One moment, Marilyn.
Okay,
We
sure.
have ChatGPT that's completely out of control this morning.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Absolutely.
I think we got him under control now. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I have. This has been something that has eluded me, answer to this problem, for a long, long time. And it isn't terribly serious, but it bothers me. And so I'm going to bring it to you. It sounds like you guys could have an answer. I need the cap for my tire on the back door to either be repaired or replaced. Now, I've had earnest people tell me replacing is probably not a good plan. You have a 2012 Toyota RAV4, and it won't match probably. And I said I'd be surprised if they even still have this particular color, but I digress. I'm trying to find if you know of someone who would repair it for me or just turn it into a pillow slip kind of thing. Instead of with the zipper I've had it repaired once at a marine shop, and it just doesn't lend itself to.
We'll turn this over to Rick. He has all the answers.
Okay, so you're talking about the spare tire cover?
I am.
Oh, okay, yeah. My advice on that one, because a spare tire cover really, they're going to deteriorate just because of the environment over
Right.
time. And the
Especially
zippers
here in Florida. Yeah.
My advice there, I would go on Amazon and look to see, find a reasonably priced, just something that's got some good ratings to it, but it's an economically priced cover, and I would go with that. And it's fun because you can find some of them that have, the various different colors, so you can pick a color that'll be like, if not matching, get a complementary color that would just kind of be like a fashion statement. Or even some, you can even find ones that have like a decorative scene on it, maybe a painting or something. Or, if you even have a family member or yourself, if you're artistic, get one that's just a simple black or a simple white color and some paints and paint it up and spray some clear coat on it and put your own thing to it. It might be a way to have some fun.
Okay. I like your suggestion, though, checking on Amazon. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. So, how do I describe it? Do I give the year, or do I just say tire cover for RAV4? Yeah.
It's a 2012. You said.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just put. As a matter of fact, one of our YouTubers, Donovan, who is the man is an encyclopedic knowledge. He is awesome. I'd love to meet him.
Oh, there you go.
He even says on Amazon, 2012 spare tire covers, Amazon or eBay are about $250, and you might even find some that are a little more economical than that, so that you could get just that vinyl cover. And I would just go like that. I would put in 2012 RAV4 spare tire cover, and I guarantee you will see so many options pop up that. Because they're going to be a generic fit, because the tire, that same size tire is used on hundreds of other vehicles, so it's going to be a beautiful thing to find, and I don't think you'll have much problem at all.
I'm glad to hear you say that. A lot of people will say, "Why don't you just get that off there?" And I say, because it's how I find myself when I come out of the store.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at one right now on a cell phone for. On Amazon, and I'm seeing them for as low as $20, and then even some. Here's one that's $20 that you can have your own design put on it by the factory. They'll paint your own design on it. You can customize it right through it and order it that way, and heck, put your favorite flower on there, and then when you come out, you know exactly what to look for.
Thank you so much. You've been a great help. You've given me a lead I haven't had before, so that's
I'm
great.
glad I could do that for you. Hey, how many miles do you have on that RAV?
I know it's over 100,000, but I haven't looked lately, so I'm guessing like 115 at this point.
Oh, it's still a baby.
Yeah, you have a long way to go.
With a little bit of just normal maintenance on it and a little tender care here and there, you can get a lot of life out of that car yet.
That's what I'm told by the mechanic. He said he's offered to buy it from me twice.
I bet. I bet he did.
Yeah, my wife drives a RAV.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nancy,
they're just great vehicles.
Put on that tire cover?
Actually, ours is one of the compact spare that's down underneath. It's hidden away, so yeah, we don't have that option.
Okay. All right. Thank you both very much.
Marilyn, let me add to this. You mentioned earlier that it wasn't really a serious situation, and it isn't. It wasn't. But aesthetically, what was going on, it bothered you, and it's going to be an easy fix. But, more importantly, the impact that you just made by calling Earl on Cars, you've really opened the door for all the women that are listening that don't want to call the show, that they would rather use, youranonymousfeedback.com. Not everyone is comfortable in calling the show. So you opened the door, and also I want to add to it, thank you for supporting my platform here at Earl on Cars. Women play a huge part in this industry. Unfortunately, they haven't reached the 21st century, and it's still, male-dominated. So thank you for your help.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy, for your platform as well.
You're welcome. Stay on the line. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Our number here is 877-960-9960. You can also text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget, youranonymousfeedback.com. We're going to go to Howard, who is a regular caller from Jupiter. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning. I'm in the Poconos now, and it's a little cold here today.
Oh, is it? Wow. What's the temperature?
It's 62.
Oh, I'll take that.
I'm sure you know the area. You're from that area, correct?
Yes.
So, okay. But I'll be back in Florida pretty soon. My question for Rick is, when I check my oil when the car is cold, I notice it's in between the full mark and the other mark that shows that I need to put oil in. So it's in between. So my question is, should I add oil then? Because when I do, after about 50 miles, it goes back down to the same level. So am I just wasting oil, or what's the story with that?
If it's using because now where is it between those two marks? Is it closer to the bottom, or is it relatively near the top?
Right in between the add and the full.
So
right
in the middle?
Yes.
Yeah, that should be, on most cars, that should be about a half a quart. If you're using a half a quart of oil in 50 miles, I would want to have that checked out. You've either got a leak or you're burning some oil there.
No. What happens is that when I put it on the full mark, it goes down to half, but it stays that way for like hundreds of miles after that. It's not losing. It just goes down to that half mark and it stays there. And I could go 100, 200, 300. It'll still stay in that. So I assume I'm not losing oil.
Now that is an odd one. I would. I would almost wonder if maybe the PCV for some reason is starting to suck it in, but that's weird that it's only dropping that much.
Right. So I don't know. When I get back to Florida, I'll have you guys check it out.
Or let's try ChatGPT, see if he can answer. I've never seen Rick stumped on something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, what should a person
stump
do if he has driving a car and he puts the oil in it and it's up to the full measure, and then it comes down halfway between the full and the add oil, and it stays that way for hundreds of miles?
That's exactly what's happening to me.
Absolutely, Professor. Happy to jump in. So if someone's driving and they've topped off their oil, but then notice it settles about halfway between full and add, and it just stays there for a long time, that's usually not something to worry about. Some cars just have a sweet spot on the dipstick where the oil level likes to hang out. As long as it's within the safe range and not actively dropping, they're good to go. So basically, they can just keep an eye on it, but not stress.
Thank you very much, Coach.
That answers my question.
There you have it, Howard.
You're very welcome, Professor. Glad I could help.
Thank you very much.
Just let me know if you need anything else.
Hang out there.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, I hope he's right. It's an interesting. I don't understand it, but far be it from me to question. It happens, and maybe there is some sort of a scientific explanation for that. I don't like the hang out part, but who am I to question COACH?
Yeah, so what you're saying is you hate to question Chat.
Yeah, I do question them, but
Good. I do that often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need more confirmation. Our number here is 877-960-9960. You can also text us at 772-497-6530. Marilyn opened the show this morning by being the first female caller. So please, ladies, give me a call at 877-960-9960. I have $50 for the next new female caller. We're going to go to Rick in Tampa. Good morning, Rick.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Rick. What can we do for you today?
Well, I had a Toyota Highlander, 2012. I always kept it up limited, so it was a better model. I got it used up in New York and stuff, and moved to Florida. Everything was fine on it. Just all the work. I mean, I kept it up the way it should be. And I had some work done on it, and when I got over there, the guys called me back to the shop and said, your car is going to have to we're going to have to look at it more closely. They wound up really going through it and taking the whole engine out, sitting on the floor, hanging from, whatever was still connected to the picture that I have that they sent me, and wound up charging me $9,300
Oh,
on this repair. I thought, I go, well, you could have put a new engine in for that, I'm sure.
yes.
And so after all that work was done, they said, well, we're going to do the work, but I really wasn't aware of what it was going to cost. And they might have told me, and I thought, well, if the guy said it's going to go for, between 400,000 and 500,000 miles, it's going to be worth for me to put that money into it to keep it running, because I like to do that, old school, I guess. And I, was on my way. Well, I wanted to go up for Thanksgiving, and I went in to get the oil changed. And, of course, I'm looking for a dealership that I can trust and people that I, could call friends. And so when I went in to do that, they called me back again. And they said, well, listen, you've got a problem with your rear-end differential, that it's leaking, and we're not sure we can get parts for this. And I thought, well, another dealer a few years before that offered to, because of the rust from up north, said we'd like, we'll change this for you to get rid of this rusted area here. And so then I got into a frenzy, and they said, well, we'll just get you a new vehicle. And so they kind of ushered me off, and I'm thinking, well, I'm getting my brain is like going into neutral. I think it was, I'm sure it was all on me, but I wound up leasing a Toyota Tacoma. Then after that, when everything was said and done, they said they were going to give me $3,500 for my car. And I thought, what? I just paid $9,000 for it to have it repaired, and this is all you're going to give me on this? And so that's what they insisted on. And well, I don't get to see my kids a lot and grandkids, but I thought, I guess my brain again went into neutral, and I followed through with the lease and wound up leasing the vehicle. But then when I was up there, my knees have been going out. I'm old enough to have my knees done and stuff. So my son said, Dad, you got to get your knees done, or you're going to be in a wheelchair before long. So when I came back, I thought, well, maybe, it was hard to get in and out of the vehicle. And I thought, well, maybe I can just trade it back in and, and get something else. Well, it just seems like every time I went in to talk to them, I had to give them more money. And I, wound up getting a RAV4, which was a 2017. And I'm saying all of this because, I could have probably said, well, just put the tires on the car in the very beginning. I'm just going to go find somebody to fix it. But if I would have, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be able to hardly walk through an airport at that point. So I went ahead and went through a deal. What kind of recourse would I have?
Rick, let me jump in here. You were taken advantage of over and over again, and that's why this show exists, because there are a lot of people like you that have been taken advantage of. You're not alone, and we've been doing the show for 20 years. That's your experience is probably one of the worst I've heard, and it's very difficult. We refer to people like you. I mean, you're elderly. You've got a physical disability, and you're in no mood to wheel and deal, and you haven't got the energy or the wherewithal to do that. And you're one of the victims of the auto deals as they stand today. You could be a symbol of why this show exists. Furthermore, it's difficult to even find attorneys these days to take your case. Everything you described on the show this morning is a terrible violation of at least the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act. If there are any attorneys listening, I'd love to put you in touch with one that would take your case free. The Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act allows the victor, meaning hopefully you, to have your attorneys paid by the person you're suing. In this case, it would be 2 or 3 car dealerships. The attorney's fees would be humongous, and most of the car dealerships would say, I'm not going to fight this in court. I'm going to take care of whatever it is. I'll settle this, because otherwise it could cost me even more. So if you know any attorneys in Tampa, and as I say, I'm speaking now to any attorney out there, you've got a juicy case. And I mean that in the sense of there's a lot of money to be made by an attorney, and let's face it, that's why attorneys are in business, to make money. So if you would let us know, or let Rick in Tampa know, you'll call us and we will contact Rick in Tampa if he'll leave us his information, that we can contact him and try to go after these dealers. But you were flim-flammed over and over. You know, there's a law in Florida that says that when you have your car repaired, you have the right to ask for an estimate, and the dealership or the independent repair company, whoever, cannot deviate from that estimate by more than 10%. So they all did that. They all let you think it wasn't going to be too bad. Got your car taken apart and then said it'll cost you this much to put it together. And then they sold you a couple cars on top of that. So you have got, for the right attorney out there, 6 months of a very, very good income. And you might just find out they don't even want to fight it, and maybe in a month or two, you could have some substantial reimbursement by those dealers. If you don't want to give your number and name, I got your first name, but you can remain on the line after you get off the phone and give your contact information to our producer,
Jeremy,
and then we will try to find you an attorney to help you.
That sounds like a good idea, because I gave them enough money.
Yeah.
And when all was said and done and I got the new car, now I have to, the money I had set aside for a vehicle sometime when I needed one. I now have a car loan for the same amount of money that I already paid out. I'm thinking I'm paying for this car twice.
Well, stay on the line. Stay on the line,
I would
Rick.
like to talk with someone.
Yeah, stay on the line, Rick, and give your name and address, telephone number to Jeremy in the control room, and then we will get on this right away. We'll contact you, and we'll let you know how we do with finding an attorney to take your case. Thanks for calling, Rick.
Thank you,
You're
Rick.
very welcome. Thank you.
Good luck. 877-960-9960. Well, I'll tell you, you hear a lot of stories, and this is proof with Rick that it's just not women. It's across the board.
Well, the elderly, the disabled, you take somebody.
Language is also a disadvantage.
But this is the victim, and the car dealers see them coming a mile away. Hey, I got one now, and they just take it back. There are elderly women I know personally in Martin County that were involved in leasing cars, and they added over $10,000 to the profit of the car. It's unconscionable what a dealer will do if he could get away with it.
It's endless, and that's why we encourage you to give us a call here at Earl on Cars. You're a very important part of the show. Please jot the number down, 877-960-9960. We are going to stay with the phones, and we're going to talk to Nikki, who you heard from last week. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yes, I was just calling back to, I guess, give everyone a little update. So I bought a brand new car from Earl Stewart yesterday. And Mike Maroney's never contacted me. The dealership's never said anything to me. I'm actually still paying the car loan from my previous car because they still haven't paid off my car loan, even though my buyback's completed. But I was calling in to let everybody know, yes, I finally have a car. I bought a 2025 Grand Highlander yesterday from your dealership. It was a way better experience than my previous time buying a car. And y'all have an amazing staff, and everyone was so nice and kind. Even though I brought my child with me as well, it was an amazing experience, and I want to say thank you so much.
Well, Nikki, I apologize. I personally spoke to Mike Maroney 2 or 3 times, and I was under the impression that he was going to handle it with that dealership, Mike Maroney Chevrolet, and I gave him in detail the issues you had. So you received no call, even from the manager at Mike Maroney Chevrolet?
I have never received a call, an email, a text. I also learned because someone messaged me on Facebook because they heard and I had posted the podcast on my page. Mm-hmm. They were like, the guy that told me to call the lawyer's office, the guy named Alex, that's actually Mike Maroney's nephew.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I finished my buyback process. I still have an open car note for the car I don't even own anymore. Mm-hmm. Thank God for my parents because they lent me the money to buy a car yesterday from y'all, or I wouldn't have a car. I still haven't had a car since April.
Nikki,
so now
I'll
Nikki,
call him. I'll call him again. I think Mike is a good guy. As a matter of fact, right now he's devoting a lot of his time to Cleveland Clinic, which is also the institution I use for my health problems. He's a spokesman for Cleveland Clinic, and he's also the vice chairman of the philanthropy for Cleveland Clinic. So he's a good fella, and somebody at his dealership has dropped the ball, but. When he tells me someone would contact you, he intended to. But I'll call him and I'll let you know what they had to say.
Nikki, let me ask you this question: did you receive my email telling you to expect a call? And
yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay.
On Saturday.
The other question that I have is there's a possibility, this happens to me often, that something might go to your junk or to your clutter, or the call could have been classified spam. So that's a number of things.
No.
So you don't screen your calls; you take everything.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Earl will follow up on, the information he just shared with you, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, no, I'm happy now. I have a car. My car is beautiful. It's wonderful. My kids and my family are very happy. And you just mentioned the Cleveland Clinic. My mom's also a breast cancer patient at the Cleveland Clinic, and she has bone cancer as well. So we're regulars at the Cleveland Clinic.
Oh, great.
So it's a beautiful place. But yes, I just want to call and tell you have amazing staff, and they were all so super nice. Everything went so smoothly. They had the car on hold for me because I know how hard it is to get a Grand Highlander because I had to have such a big car. But like I said, it was seamless. It was awesome. Your whole staff from A to Z was amazing. The fish tank, my son adored it. And I just want to say thank you so much for having such a great dealership.
The feedback and we didn't realize how many people were listening to your story last week, but it was just amazing, the response and the replies, and including the dealership. And we had no idea you were going to the dealership for a vehicle, but a lot of our employees do have children, and also they have special needs. So there was so many moving parts here, and as I said, it really got their attention, and they certainly wanted to make your experience flawless. And it was very important to them that they recognize your children and the special needs, and the interior of the vehicle to be conducive to their health needs. So I'm glad
Yes.
your experience went as it did.
Yes, no, it went seamless. Like I said, everything was awesome because I called in advance to tell him exactly what I was looking for. He held the vehicle for me until my check cleared with my buyback because that took forever with them as well. And, you know, when I went there, they had everything ready to go. He even sat in the car, showed me all the stuff. I think his name was Haywood.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and he showed me everything on the car, how to work everything. Even when I was driving away, I was having a little bit of issue. He ran out there and fixed everything. So I just want to say thank you so much for a great experience with buying a car.
Thank you so much, Nikki. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, y'all have a great day, and thank you for being amazing.
Thank you so much for that. Have a great weekend.
Rick?
Sounds to me like that was a nomination for Haywood for the Above and Beyond.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And he has received on several different occasions. He's an outstanding person that I have dealt with. Okay, folks, 877-960-9960. That's 877-960-9960. And you can text us at 772-497-6530. And also from the Road Report, I have some interesting information for you that you may take into consideration and may want to skip when you purchase your next car. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that. But right now our lines are lit up, and we're going to go back to... let's see, who's holding? We're going to go to Barry in Tampa, who's a regular caller. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning, all. After those first few calls, I feel like a lightweight. Before I ask my question, I'd like to mention to Earl that I read Confessions of a Recovering Car Dealer this week and enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
And, yeah, it was good. And in case you ever want to make a movie version of the book, I asked ChatGPT which mainstream actor should play you, and it said that Sam Elliott is the natural first choice.
Oh, boy. I'm even going to hold the book up. You know, if you buy this book, and when you bought my book, Barry, the proceeds that you paid for it went to Big Dog Ranch Rescue. So we love to sell a book, not only to help people avoid being ripped off by the car dealer, but we help the doggies at the same time. And Big Dog Ranch Rescue has several locations now, and the largest no-kill shelter. A lot of these shelters euthanize their dogs. Big Dog does not. So they have to find homes for them, and they have to find a lot of homes, and they do that. So you helped a little bit there, and anybody buys the book, you can learn how to avoid being ripped off and maybe save a doggy's life at the same time.
Yeah, great. I do have a service question that I've already taken the liberty of asking ChatGPT, so I'm interested to see how your answers compare.
Okay.
You've talked about the superiority of OEM parts to aftermarket ones, with some exceptions like tires, but what about fluids? When is it better to use the manufacturer's brand versus something else?
Well, I'll answer it, but Rick, will have a better idea than I am, because I want to say this. I don't believe that it's with blanket that OEM parts are better than aftermarket parts. The one that I hammer on this show are crash parts. Now, crash parts are the name given to the fenders and bumpers and doors. When you get into an accident and the crash impacts that door or that hood, there are some very, very stringent criteria of how that should fold. Actually, you don't want a fender, or you don't want a door that won't buckle at all. The buckling of the door at a certain rate is what protects you. It's like a sponge. If you have a rigidly hard hood and you hit something very fast, you're going to snap your neck right off. So the compression, Rick?
Energy absorbing.
Yeah, energy absorbing.
That's
so that's the main thing I'm talking about. Now, as far as most other things, there are probably aftermarket parts, fluids. There's certainly some good aftermarket parts in any part. As a matter of fact, you'd be surprised the number of aftermarket parts that are also the same manufacturer sells the manufacturer of the car and sells to you. So you're really buying an OEM part with a different label on it. But don't ever accept from your insurance company, and they will push you on this, don't ever accept a body repair part that is a crash part. That is, they'll even say, but this is certified. Well, it's certified, but not by the government safety regulators. It'll be certified because it's shiny and there's a certain width and depth, and there's a lot of criteria you can certify something for, but not in an accident. If that hood buckles too fast or doesn't buckle fast enough, you're dead. So that's to clear up my recommendation on OEM versus aftermarket.
Yeah. For fluids, my recommendation, check Consumer Reports and also talk to some few technicians or one of my resources that I love are local car clubs will do forums on the internet where you can talk to a lot of people that they are fanatical about the care of their cars. And they can give you some great recommendations on brands of oil, transmission fluid, coolant that are actually perhaps even better quality than what you would get from a dealership and can be at a much lower price because, well, dealerships are rather proud of their products and they tend to mark them up quite a bit. As a matter of fact, like Earl mentioned, for a lot of parts for the cars, Toyota uses Nip and Denso as one of their main suppliers for automotive parts, specifically for air conditioning compressors. But did you know that for an air conditioning compressor, for say like a 2020 Camry, you can buy that exact same compressor aftermarket made by Nip and Denso, and it comes with the clutch on it for 2/3 the price of the factory unit, but it's the exact same part made by the same company, and you can save 20, 30, 40% on the price of parts as long as you make sure that it is that same manufacturer. You'll have no problem with that part.
Okay, well, I think in this particular man versus machine John Henry type contest, I think the flesh and blood wins this time. And I thank you for your answers, and there were no fatalities like that.
Barry, what did you said you asked ChatGPT? What did ChatGPT say?
Well, in a nutshell, it was very strong on using OEM fluid for coolant and for transmission fluid. It gave more wiggle room on engine oil and brake fluid as long as you're meeting the proper specs. And it said, don't waste your money on OEM fluid for window washer fluid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, window washer fluid, no. You can buy that much less expensive in bulk from other places.
So ChatGPT actually was accurate. Yeah. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, and then just for fun, I asked about blinker fluid, and it correctly identified it as a joke. So.
Thank you, Barry.
Hey, Barry, before
much.
you go, did ChatGPT give you a long answer, or was it, short?
It was quite detailed, and then it summed it up with a nifty little chart with column OEM versus aftermarket with the check mark in each column. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, interesting. Sometimes, if I don't have a lot of time, which is often, I have more or less have to just shorten, ChatGPT's version of the right answer, and it's ChatGPT is a great place to go. That's all I'll say. Barry, thanks so much for the call. Please stay in touch. We enjoy your conversation. Our number here is 877-960-9960. You can also text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget, youranonymousfeedback.com. You know, back to the it was great that Barry talked about the Consumer Report, and there are so many of our callers, our listeners, everybody who is involved in our show going to Consumer Report. It's something Earl and I often go to, and Earl has his copy, I have my copy, so we don't fight over it any longer. But back to the road report that I spoke to when we opened the show, let me share something with you about the options on your next new car. You know, it can be really costly, very costly when you start adding extras to a new car purchase. And there's things that you really don't need. One of the things that they talk about, the Consumer Report talks about being a waste of money, is the matte paint. And they say that it's so prone to scratches. And there's a whole lot more information if you pick up the edition of the Consumer Report. That's the September and October edition. You're going to find a lot of information.
Matt, that's the one that's kind of a dull looking.
Yes. Yeah, we see a lot of that on the road. Also, Earl, this would be interesting to you. Large wheels. They're easy to damage. We found that out, and costly to repair, and they usually hurt the ride. As far as the comfort.
I'm a world champion wheel damager.
Oh, you should have brought your rubber. What is that?
Rubber
mallet
yeah.
that you bought.
Rubber mallet, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. Looks like you're going to be involved in something very interesting this afternoon.
Yeah,
and I'll be by your side and under the vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, moving along. Self-parking. This finicky, and I agree it is finicky because I'm still trying to adjust to my self-parking. And this finicky feature operates slowly and often requires the driver to take over anyway. And you know, what's telling about that feature is when we use that, it's not the self-parking that concerns me, but I'm on the lookout for the cars around us that are in such a hurry, and they're like tapping on their, and they're driving combustion, they're tapping on their steering wheel because they want us to move it. And it is a slow process, and I think Earl will agree with that, but there's a lot more positive to say about self-parking.
Well, that's because you're a good person, and I don't care if people are waiting. I just go ahead and do it anyway.
Okay, we'll discuss that later. Dealer-installed window tint or paint protection. Here again, you can save yourself a lot of money. Compare prices from a reputable specialty shop first before you decide on that feature. Fabric protector. In most cases, a $10 fabric spray from Auto Parts can achieve the same effect. So there you go, folks. And again, that is the Consumer Report from September and October. 877-960-9960, $50 for the next new female caller. Yes, Earl?
One thing that we don't mention about Consumer Reports that we should, and we're correcting that right now, but this is the issue of the current Consumer Reports. And inside the front cover is something that reminded me when I picked it up today. I mean, they've always done this, but they have a very good car buying service. We talk about Costco, we talk about TrueCar. Consumer Reports has an outstanding car buying service. If you're a Consumer Report member or you're online, you can use this. You pay for it, but they basically give you a very good price on whatever kind of a car you want to buy. So, Costco, TrueCar, Consumer Reports are the three best third party assisting you not being ripped off on the price of a newer used car.
Pick it up. It is very informative, and it helps you with everything. Yes, Rick?
Quick note here from Donovan. He says matte car paint will actually not show the normal scratches that regular gloss paint will. However, it's slightly more durable, but once it's damaged, there's no fixing it. The entire panel would have to be repainted.
Wow.
So you can't really do like a touch-up.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what. Be careful if you decide to go through a car wash. Big mistake. anyway, you can look into that. We're running out of time. 877-960-9960. We are going to go to Lance, who's been holding. Welcome back, Lance. It's nice to hear from you.
Yes, hello. I got a question in regards to purchasing a car. The truck I'm driving, it's got 285,000 miles, and it's still running. But anyhow, I've been pulling in dealerships, kind of just getting an idea of what these cars cost. And, the salesperson, they'll say, oh, we can work on the price. We can work on the price. And my question is, if there's no, special financing deals or no, manufactured rebates on the vehicle, I mean, for a $50,000 car, realistically, how much will they come down from that MSRP price? Is there a number, or is there not? I mean, I see on the ads on TV 15,000 off, in MSRP, but is there a number that you can kind of go
Lance,
by?
no, there isn't a number. That's one of the problems with dealing with car dealers. If you go to 10 different dealers, you'll get 10 different price on the same car. And the only way you will get a good price is by pitting the dealers that you go to against each other. Now, let me go back and say this, and I should have said this the first thing. Are you a member of Costco?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we are.
Okay. Costco members, you have the free right to participate in the Costco auto buying program. Now, the Costco signs up all different franchises, not all dealers, but they have all franchises, and they contract with that dealer, and they say, if you want to be on our list of Costco recommended car dealers, you must sign this contract that you will not sell a car for a price to anybody less than the Costco price. So they allow the dealer to set the price on all of the cars that they sell. And they audit this list, and if they violate it, or if a customer reports a violation, they cancel their Costco affiliation. So call Costco first. You must remember this. Call Costco first. Ask for the Costco members in your neighborhood. You decide how far you want to drive, and then they will give you the name of not just the dealership, but they will give you the name of the Costco salespeople. And when you go in to see that specific salesperson recommended by Costco to that specific dealership, you say, I would like to see your Costco price sheet. And they are required by contract with Costco to show you that price sheet. That will show the lowest price that car is sold to anyone for, and it will be below that. It might only be $200 below that, but it will be the lowest price that they sell that car to anybody for.
You know what? I've been a member of Costco forever. I didn't know I had that option with them.
Yeah.
But that's, that kind of gives me an idea on what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you'll be surprised.
You know what? I listen to you guys' show all the time, and you guys are very helpful with a lot of different stuff, man.
Well, thank you.
I didn't even think of that, but so basically with that list, I can kind of get a ballpark on what model vehicle it is.
Yeah,
and
you want to be
specific. There, I can get an idea.
Yeah, you want to be specific, because when you go into the dealership, you want to be sure the price is for the exact year, make, model that you want to buy. And then you will see that price sheet. You can take a picture of it. As a matter of fact, you can ask for a copy of the price sheet or to send you the price sheet. So there you have it in black and white, so they can't take advantage of you later on.
I like that idea. Okay, cool.
And Lance, let me add this. This is Nancy Stewart. Let me add to that. It's so important. I learned this the hard way. Apples to apples, that you're comparing. And I love negotiating, and I stick to my guns. And if you know what you want and you can compare apples to apples, you're ahead of the game. You're in the driver's seat.
Well, you know what? The last couple of vehicles me and my wife bought, she's got this Suncoast credit union, whatever, and it was so easy with them. They finance it really cool. So I never really got into the whole really comparing prices and stuff. But now I know what route to take.
Very good.
It's a great advantage. Lance, thanks so much.
Thank you.
We hope to
Y'all
hear
have a
from
nice
you
day.
again. Please
Yeah, we'd
follow
like to.
up.
We'd like to hear about your experience with Costco auto member that you visit.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, hopefully this truck won't die, and I won't need to deal with it. But I mean, I know the day's coming. I just want to say real quick, I'm like kind of like a backyard mechanic, and all the information Rick puts out, it's like holy crap, man! It's like a lot of good information, and one of these days I got some questions for him as well.
Yeah, he's amazing. He really, truly
thank
is
you.
amazing.
All the years I've had cars, I've never taken them to the garage for like brakes or tune-ups. That's something I do myself with the cost. But yeah, there's a lot of good information coming out of you guys' show there. It's really cool.
Thank you so much, Lance.
All
and
right, y'all have a nice day.
Rick,
Thank you.
thanks you. Have a great weekend. 877-960-9960. Or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Also, don't forget youranonymousfeedback.com. Our next caller is from Palm City, and he definitely is a regular. He's added so much to our show. And before we put him on, I just want to let John know that I took a look at an article that he wrote, and it's the medical car connection. John, thanks so much for all the information that you send me. And this article really tugged at my heart, and it also informed me. So we're going to hear from John from Palm City. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Today I have on my mind, which is everybody puzzled, we don't know where we stand, tariffs. People are wondering what's going to be with the tariff, especially the country of origin, as far as discounts and pricing goes. And it's a very simple task, too, especially when you see to the future a car that's sitting on a lot, brand new or even used. How do you tell what country it's from? It couldn't be simpler. Your serial number is 17 digits. Every digit means something. The simplest, including an engine, including everything that they have to know about a car. But the easiest way to find out, look at the first digit. If it's a 1, the car was assembled in USA. If it's a 2, it's Canada. If it starts with a J, it's Japan. I won't go over the whole list. But it's going to be very important for the future as far as pricing goes and everything, insurance-wise. So it's good to keep in mind that you can tell right off the bat, just by looking at the serial number, where that car was assembled. And my question to Rick, not so much today, but especially years ago, I've been buying Toyotas since 1976. In the 80s, when I replaced them, I always insisted on a Toyota that started off with a J. I felt at that time the Japanese assembled Toyota was better quality control than the one that was started to make in the USA. Any truth that you think that was in that?
Yes.
At that time.
At that time, very much so. Anymore, the
Not so
American
much.
plants have caught up quite a bit.
Yeah.
The Japanese quality control has come to the U.S. in full force. But going back to the 80s and the early 90s, even all the way up to about 2000 and more, the Japanese-built cars just simply were a slight upward step.
Well, sometimes not
over
so.
the American-made cars.
Sometimes not so slight. And the let's give credit to the Japanese worker back then too. It was I went through that era. Started in the car business in 1968 with Pontiac, and then a few years later, I bought a Toyota dealership. Back then, 1980, say, the Toyota dealership, Toyotas were not all that good by today's standards. But let me tell you something. In 1980, compared to a Pontiac was a bunch of crap, and the Japanese car was a fine-tooled Swiss watch. It was just absolutely night and day. I can remember thinking to myself when I had the two dealerships, not sides by side, but 10 miles apart, I couldn't make any money in my service department at the Toyota dealership because they didn't break. and if there was anything, it was covered by warranty. At the Pontiac dealership, I made more money in the service department than I did anywhere else, both in warranty work and Pontiacs that would break. So things have gone a long way, and but it's been a combination of design and engineering. But the worker that assembles these cars at that time in Japan, it was far better. American worker finally caught up, but back in the 60s and 70s, they hadn't.
Yep.
Well, I agree with you. One other fast thing on fluids, you're never going to go wrong with using an oil change and filter at a new car dealership. Their standards are good. You're going to use a great oil, probably Pennzoil or whatever they use. And the only exception that by going to the new car dealer, which you're going to question, is the oil filters aftermarket and cheaper oil. And we exposed it on this show, was Napleton.
Yeah.
They were caught using aftermarket oil filters and a cheaper type of oil. But in general, if you get your oil changed and your fluids, transmission, or even radiator fluid, you're never going to go wrong. Not only that the new car dealership, with just for a simple oil change, he does at least 25 safety checks through your car. Well, naturally, it benefits him, too. If he finds something, naturally, he's going to make some money on it. But it's just good to know that besides an oil change at your new car dealership, they've checked other items.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
so I strongly recommend, especially fluid-wise, using the new car dealership for oil changes.
Thank you, John.
John, thanks so
guys.
much. We love hearing from you. Excuse me. Ladies, $50 for the next new female caller. $50 for the next female caller. Those 17 digits, there were, people who'd never even referred to them before. And that was a great call from John and him pointing out those 17 digits. Boy, do they hold a lot of information, a whole lot. And as he said, the first number would, give you an indication that the car was built in the USA. And the second, Canada, and the third, Japan. So keep all that in mind. We are going to go back to Earl Stewart.
Yeah, I was going to say that with the John didn't mention he said these cars are assembled in the United States, but that doesn't mean the parts were manufactured in the United States. So theoretically, you could have a car that was totally assembled in the United States, but all the parts came from Mexico. I mean, I'm just exaggerating to make a point.
And you know something, Earl's a book of knowledge. Proof right there. And I'm going to say this, it might hurt you, but I will go with your information first before I go with ChatGPT. Your buddy.
Boy. Oh, boy.
Speaking of ChatGPT, you and I talked this morning about the article that came that we both looked at in the Wall Street Journal, and that was this huge information about the open AI that unveils newest chatbot.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
Yeah, ChatGPT 5. Yeah, that's just came out. It's not even in most people's possession yet because it just came out.
Yeah, definitely.
You got ChatGPT 4, and ChatGPT 5 says that it says about ChatGPT 5, it's like having in your pocket with you, with your smartphone where you access chat, a PhD on every subject. So if you want to know something about chemistry, when you got ChatGPT, you're talking to a professor of chemistry. That's the level of intelligence that the ChatGPT 5 has.
Would you be ready to trade in your buddy for the next edition?
Don't say anything.
What does he have to say?
And don't use his name because then he'll come to life.
That's why I said
start
buddy.
yakking near him.
That's why I said buddy. Hey, looking at the clock, it is now 9:11. Without further ado, I believe that we are going to go to Anne Marie, who is a regular on the show. Good morning, Anne Marie.
And she says, good morning. In your opinion, what is the best feature on a car ever devised? So many to choose from. Windshield wipers, seat belts, anti-lock brakes, radios, air conditioners and heaters, more efficient headlights, blind spot monitors, backup cameras, or something else? Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Wow. There's so many parts. I was going to say the brakes, but she mentioned anti-lock brakes. That's a good question. What do you think, Greg? There's nothing new. I mean, it isn't a recent innovation, obviously, but
For myself, I'm going to go with what I think the most impressive feature that has come out in the last, say, 20 years is anti-skid technology. In other words, the ability that even on a wet surface, the car will use the engine and brake power to all four wheels to attempt to keep the car under your control and prevent skidding and sliding out of control.
I remember one of the first times I left Florida and I drove to Lafayette, Indiana. And when I left Florida, it was sunny. When I got near Lafayette, Indiana, it was icy and cold and snowing. And I'd never driven in those conditions before. And every time I hit my brakes, I thought I was going to die.
Oh, boy.
The first time I ever drove on ice was in New Hampshire. And I hit the brakes, and I was driving a rental car. Thank goodness I had the extra insurance, although I didn't need it. But all of a sudden, that little car was just spinning in circles. And I was on a county fair amusement ride and just along for the ride. I had no control whatsoever.
Talk about airborne.
It stopped and everything was safe, but
I have a whole lot of stories about driving on ice, but we don't have time for them.
I now that you mention that, I would say, does Anne-Marie have an answer, or does she?
No, she just kind of gave the list of them and said, "What's our opinion?"
Yeah,
she didn't really mention her own.
After that, I couldn't even guess. I mean, there's obviously nothing. There is. Isn't there there's an anti-rollover device on a car? There's
roll sensing curtain airbags. You have yaw control, yaw sensors that detect if the car is starting to roll or not, and all these systems all work together now. But I think one of my favorite stories from automotive history is the guy that invented intermittent windshield wipers. And he took this idea that he had and tried to sell it to a couple of different car manufacturers, and they both basically blew him off. And the next thing you know, they both started coming out with intermittent wipers that were obviously, they had stolen his idea. And he wound up suing, didn't he, and get a bunch of money out of it?
It's funny you should mention this, because Nancy and I both are being driven crazy by our intermittent windshield wipers on our Teslas. And you know, we're yelling and screaming, and they start going when it's not raining and stop when it's raining, and it just
they react to everything. Condensation.
Tesla never got the word on how to make an intermittent windshield wiper.
Well, I mean, no offense, but Tesla is a battery company. They make batteries.
Good point. Yeah.
And they make electric motors, and they just happen to decide, hey, let's put this in a car.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really did all the research they should have on building the car itself.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But it's still, they came up with a pretty interesting vehicle, though, you got to admit.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm fascinated by it.
Oh, it's been around for a long time. What made me think about that is John from Palm City, and a lot of people know that my dream car is a 1957 Pontiac Bonneville fuel injection.
Yeah.
And the thing I remember about that car, it was a convertible. And you know, this 1957. In fact, I think it was probably 1956 when it came out, and it had this little plate on the hood, and so you could drive around your convertible and park out front, and you go where you're going, and if it starts to rain, when the drop hits the little plate, the convertible top came up.
No way.
Yeah, to me. That would have been something we could vote for Anne-Marie, but I don't think they make those anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't even have that feature now on convertibles.
Yeah,
So if
why
you
not?
park your convertible and it starts raining,
Oh yeah,
it's wet.
Yeah. Maybe we can invent one.
Automatic top.
And
That
get
is.
we'll get a patent on it. We'll invent one, and we'll sell it to all the manufacturers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, Anne Marie.
You know, for me, it's blind spot. You know, that monitoring for me is
Yep.
so important
Yeah.
in emergency braking.
Yeah.
For me also.
Well, even the other side of it, that same system, when you're parked in a parking lot and you start to back up and a car is coming up the lane, it can tell you that car is coming. They use that exact same system.
Yeah, it's an amazing
Let me
feature.
ask ChatGPT what he thinks. Hang on a second.
Oh boy, he's long-winded. We don't have.
Coach, let me ask you about Anne Marie's text to the show. What do you think is the single most important development in car accessories? We had one person said brakes, and then somebody else has said intermittent windshield wipers and anti-rollover. What, in your opinion, is the most important development in cars today? Yo, Coach. Are you there, Coach? Coachy. Coach is having a bad day. Isn't it? Okay, Coach, just in case you didn't understand me or hear me before, what's the most important development in cars today? Something like anti-rollover or something like anti-skid four-wheel drive, anti-skid or blind spot detectors. What, in your opinion, is the most important development in cars?
Absolutely, Professor. I'd say one of the most important developments has got to be advanced driver assistance systems. Things like automatic emergency braking and blind spot detection. These features have really made a huge difference in everyday safety, helping drivers avoid accidents, and making the roads a lot safer for everyone. So in my opinion, those assistive technologies are some of the biggest game changers.
Coach, you're the greatest. Thank you very much. Okay, there you have it.
Blind spot.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. You're the greatest, too. Boy, if you don't call the show, we're in trouble. So thanks again for taking the time.
Yeah. I take back everything I said about him. Okay, Rick, what do you have for us?
We are actually caught up on this. However, Johnny Z. Fradley on the great features of cars, he says airbags.
Airbags.
Which,
boom,
I got to admit,
that's up there.
airbags have saved thousands of lives.
Yeah,
absolutely,
including mine.
I mean, that's incredible.
Of course, the Takata airbag has also cost a lot of
lives.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is very, very true.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to have to interrupt you, Rick, and take this last call.
Yep.
And that's John, who's calling us from West Palm Beach, and he's called before. He's a regular caller. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome.
Probably the greatest everything you've mentioned is great. Same thing with Anne Marie. But all of those features don't happen unless you've got the ECU. The ECU unit. It's because they're all tied into that brain. And that probably has to, and those went in, they had to go digital, in 2010? They were required on all cars. But I think that ECU unit that controls all of that stuff and monitors and has to be the most important part.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. What does that stand for? I don't know.
Electronic component unit or electronic computer unit?
Electronic control unit.
Electronic control, okay.
And the other one is the electronic control module for ECM. And that basically, it's just a term that manufacturers will use almost interchangeably, but it basically comes down, it's simply a computer.
Yep.
Yeah, we're driving computers. We're not driving the cars anymore. It's software. It's really ironic that we're at a stage of our development that literally, I mean, if you're speaking literally, car manufacturers are all going to go out of business, and the software manufacturers, the ones that have got the intelligence in software, they're going to prevail, and all they need is somebody to put four wheels on it, and you've got a computer on wheels. That's all it is.
Well, did you know that the average car in 2010, 15 years ago, had more computers and computing power than what was used to put men on the moon?
I believe that. Yeah. That used to be said about the iPhone. So yeah, with miniaturization and quantum computing, size is not a factor anymore in computers. It'll be computers will be you'll have a computer the size of the pen I'm holding in my hand that will have more computing power than every computer on Earth right now. And that sounds crazy, right? But let me tell you what, the artificial intelligence is increasing exponentially, and exponentially is the name of the game. So imagine 10 years from now, everything we know will be 100 times more. That's exponential. Exponential is acceleration. And in 100 years or 1,000 years, forget about it. I mean, where will we be?
Well, last week I had called and I ran out of time, and we were talking about the transmissions and learning your driving style. Honda had come out with that a while back on their motorcycles, the automatic motorcycle, where you no longer have the shit. What they were taught was, and the people had the motorcycle learned your driving habit. If you wanted that electronic automatic transmission to drive it like go fast, you had to drive it in the beginning stages as going fast. If you were just a cruiser going slow, that's the way you drove it, and that's what it adapted to. It adapted to your driving style within the first 500 miles and monitored how you drove. And that was with the motorcycle, the Goldwing.
I just had a thought that 100 years ago, all the cars on the road drove the way Henry Ford drove his car.
Yeah.
One way.
He designed it to work that way, and it worked.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's fun living in a world like we do, John. It's just exciting. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 84, and one of the problems with being older, I just won't be around long enough to enjoy this crazy ride we're going to be on for the next 100 years. I look at my great-grandchildren. Nancy and I did a naming ceremony with our great-grandchildren yesterday, and these little tots, good Lord, what are they going to see? And I envy them. The kids being born today, I envy them.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that well, I'm 65, and but I've had the muscle cars. I had a 70 GTO Judge. I've got a Tesla now.
Oh, the Judge! Wow, here comes the Judge. Here comes the Judge.
And I love the Pontiacs, but if I had to pick a car, like you had the '57 Bonneville, I would like to have, and people will have to look it up because you don't see them, but it's the '57 Mercury Turnpike Cruiser, which was ahead of its time. And you very rarely see them. They'll sometimes end up on the auction block, but I just thought it was an incredible car with some of the features that it had.
A 57 Chevy Power Pack was a hell of a car, too. Stick shift.
Well,
I was a drag racer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, if you like shifting, then you went to the K5 Blazer with that 11-speed boxy. You had to keep shifting different levers.
Well, so
great.
So you've got what do they say? Gasoline in your blood or something like that, or you love cars, and I love cars, and that's one of the sad things about what's going to happen in the next 100 years. Cars will be gone. It'll be all about transportation. You'll walk out the door and say, I want to go to the Walgreens, and a car will whip up and stop and take you there and drop you off. I mean, it's not really a car, it's just transportation. The cars as we know them today, it's sad, but, they had their time, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
John, thanks for the call.
Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. Have a great week.
Thank you,
my
John.
friend.
You know, back to your comment about the baby naming, Earl. Excuse me, yesterday. You know, it's amazing how we think of mortality now, you and I, me being 82, you being 84. And it was really telling yesterday that we were the only great grandparents. And we've known so many that have been our ages that sadly, I report, are not here. So we're very blessed, very blessed to be able to absorb all this knowledge right now and to also step back and say, wow, these kids that are growing up, grandchildren, children, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and we're viewing that through that lens.
They're going way up. They're going to Mars.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I believe that by the clock, we need to get to the mystery shopping.
No, we got plenty of time.
I think that Rick has something else to add.
Yeah, we got one more here in the text. This one's from Larry K. And he says, "Hi, love your show. My question is, what are the pros and cons of leasing using Toyota One Pay lease program? Thanks."
You know, I don't like one-pay lease programs. I think that I don't like giving anybody all their money up front. I like to in a lease. I think you have a lot more control and flexibility if you make the payments monthly. The upfront lease program, you are basically. It sounds like you're buying the car. But because you don't have to make payments, but in 3 years you got or whatever, you have to give the car back. I'll just give you a simple, short answer. No, don't do the one-pay program. It's a bad idea.
And by the way, Florida, South Florida Two-Step says, speaking of the ECUs, I would beg to differ a little and say that the introduction of the CAN system, or communication system, is far more important because it allows all the modules to talk to each other seamlessly and instantly. And this is very true, especially when you consider the amount of wiring that's in a car right now. And every single switch has to talk, and all the computers have to talk to each other. But instead of running wires from each one individually to all the others, you have one set of wires that runs to all of them, and they all just talk on those wires.
See, I never heard of that.
Yeah, CAN communication has been around for 25 years now.
Yeah.
And it has increased now to where the computers are all networked together in the car.
Yeah.
And instead, like I say, instead of having 40 or 50 wires, you have 2 wires that just run to all the various computers, and they all talk back and forth on them.
I need to have them come out to our house. And I got wires. Nancy and I, we can't walk from one of the house to the other. I got wires all over the place. Oh.
That's like the fun of having so many different electronic devices, and each one has to have a different power port for it.
I understand that, but come on, let's get some control here. My job is to make all of that disappear because it can. You know, here's the 21st century. You know, you can deal with all this technology, but to have all these wires.
Well, you had the electrician coming out putting in more outlets. I said, no. We got outlets everywhere.
It's just too much. It's too much. Anyway, hey, listen to this. This is from the Vital Statistics. Did you know that 8 years ago, about half the drivers turned those features off? He's talking about all the safety features, and that's automakers have since raised awareness and of these safety benefits, and they've raised the awareness to the degree that the percentage of people that are using them is 87%.
Wow.
87%.
I'm the first one to admit when seatbelts come out.
8 years ago, they turned them off.
Yeah, I used to stuff the when I was a Pontiac dealer. Nobody liked seatbelts. I didn't like them, and everybody hated them. And they were actually looking around for a car without seatbelts. And so we used to stuff the seatbelts down inside the seat where you couldn't see them. I mean, I can't believe how stupid we were. back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, to think that airbag, oh God, when airbags came out, the car dealers are all talking, oh, how are we going to sell a car? They're going to charge us $500, and we're going to have to pass that along to the customer. Nobody wants airbags, and nobody wants seat belts, and then they woke up one day and said, what the hell are we doing?
Anti-lock brakes. Before anti-lock brakes,
Oh, yeah.
everyone was taught, pump the brake pedal.
Yeah.
You push it just to the point when you're going to skid, then release, and then push it again. And when anti-lock brakes come out, you had to retrain yourself
That's right.
Just push that pedal right to the floor and hold
Well,
it.
that was hard to do.
And let the car do the job.
To this day, I have trouble with that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't
Well, it's
because
ingrained
I
in
don't
you.
use my brakes in my Tesla. But
Yeah.
before I had a Tesla, I can't remember ever slamming on the brakes. I couldn't get it in my head.
Here's a interesting one from Nate Miller. See if we have time for this.
Yeah,
to
we
fit
got
in.
plenty of time.
He says, good morning, all. I hope everyone's having a great day. Was wondering if you could comment on vehicle emissions going away and what it might do to diesel pickups now that NOx, DEF, and other emission systems may be going away. Do you think it would reduce the MSRP on these trucks now that the emission systems are no longer required?
You know, the governments enforce these emissions based on all of the cars on the road. So they go to General Motors and they say, your cars on average have to meet this emission. And even then, if they don't, you can buy emission credits from someone like Tesla because these credits are something they get for having all their cars qualify under the emissions. So I think even 100 years from now, if you happen to be a collector and you got a big diesel truck, you can still drive it legally because that truck falls under the category of all the trucks that manufacturer made. So you're good to go under current laws as long as your average emissions comply.
Yeah. And I don't think MSRP is ever going to drop just because they were able to get rid of some systems on the car.
No. They'll never do that.
No.
And not to
Corporations are not going to let that happen.
And they lose money if they cut the MSRP because with inflation, I mean, we're happy if inflation is 2%, and 2% compounded over 10 years. I can't do that in my head, but it's probably 35 or 40%.
Sure.
So you're getting a 35 or 40% increase in MSRP just by applying the cost of living.
And the salesmen are probably going to go at you with the idea of, well, look at this truck. Yeah, the price hasn't changed, but now you don't have to worry about emissions and DEF fluid and all this other stuff. And they're just going to make it seem like a positive that you didn't see the price go up because of it.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay, I believe that we are going to, it is now 9:35. We're going to go to the Mystery Shopping Report. Let me remind you that you're a big part of this, and we really look forward to your vote. And you can vote on the Mystery Shopping Report at 772-497-6530. This week we went to Gunther Mazda Plantation. Now back to the recovering car dealer.
Well, one of the reasons I say we would have plenty of time is because this is the world's shortest mystery shopping report. And the guy that normally writes this up is in Germany, and that's my son Stu. And the report itself is a mini report. I keep thinking maybe I left.
Go to the other side.
Yeah.
Gunther.
There's not much, yeah.
Gunther Mazda.
Yeah, the mystery shopping report, Gunther Mazda, they're in Plantation, which is like Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, the heart of the South Florida Sodom and Gomorrah, where car dealers down there, I can't even describe it. I mean, not only are they deceptive beyond words, but they are aggressive and insulting. The market down there is on fire. People just are buying cars, and the dealers understand that if this guy or gal that comes in to buy a car doesn't buy one, to hell with her or him, because there's somebody right behind them that will buy the car, and that's sort of a mindset. And The other thing is all the car dealers down there are advertising deceptively, and their sales practices are total deception. And to sell a car, you've got to outlie in the sense that outlie the dealer next to you. So if I'm a Volkswagen dealer, my competitor's lying to the customers. If I don't lie more,
That's puffery.
puffery. Yeah, that's a beautiful term. That's how not to get arrested for false advertising. Oh, that's puffery. Okay, Gunther, Mazda Plantation. Speaking in the first person, as if I were Agent Lightning. I arrived mid-afternoon and was greeted with a handshake by a salesman named Cruz, C-R-U-Z. He welcomed me into their dealership and asked, "What brings me in today?" I replied that I'd been looking at the Mazda 5 turbo model. I showed him the one that I had been looking at and let him know I was shopping around before buying. I showed him the one, I just said that. He went through a bunch of questions so he can get the best deal for me. We call those qualifying questions, and get all the information. So in reality, it's not to get the best deal. They try with the qualifying questions to find out how big a sucker you are, and can I make 3,000, 4,000, or 8,000 on this sucker. And it's just that's every bit of information you give that car salesman, he's going to turn it right around and use it on you. Trust me. What cars are registered to my address? Blah blah blah. I'm looking to buy. He had me follow him over to where the CX-5s are. Now that sounds like an innocent comment. That is right in the handbook of how to take control of your customer and how to make a lot of money. And the handbook, the car salesman's handbook, you take control. And when a person comes in, the average person is just, an average person. And when you have a controlling person, they can have you follow them around. They can have you listen to whatever you say. Think military. Here's a true story. When I was first in the business, we had sales trainers that would come in. They would make the same speech to my sales force in Stuart Pontiac that they make to, or that we're talking about right now, and what I was just talking about, how to take control. So the sales trainer came out on my Pontiac showroom, and he says, "Let me show you control." So he says, "The next customer comes in the door. Let me show you." So a customer walked into Stuart Pontiac, and he greeted him as if he were the salesperson, and he showed him around the car that he was interested in. And I got ahead of my story. He says, I'm gonna have the control. I'm gonna have the customer get inside the trunk of the car, and I'm gonna close the trunk. So basically, that's what he did. He had so much control that he said, "Now, Mr. Jones, get into the trunk of the car. Let me show you something." And he's like this. He goes, "Go on." And he used that control, and he says, "Now, scrunch down." And he slammed the door. And he told the other salesman he was talking to, "See, that's control." So that's what happened here, is happening here at Gunther Mazda. The salesperson is being followed by the shopper, Agent Lightning. Went on, I lost my place here. He says, I had seen elsewhere is discontinued. A car I was looking for was discontinued, but assured me the only difference is that particular color combo, so I did choose this one. He said, he asked me if I'd driven the turbo or would I like to drive it today. I said I'd like to see numbers, but if they come up at a good point, then I'll drive it before going to finance. He then asked me what the MSRP is and where I was. I'll translate that because it's not written very well. Means that, what kind of price do you want to pay? MSRP, apparently they're saying with respect to MSRP, how much over, how much below. Of Cruz snapped back that it doesn't matter because it's a totally different car. I said, well, this is how I'm going to do it. And he said it would make both of our lives better if I shared, but I refused. So here you start to see some of the antagonistic, this salesperson is being very rude. And it wouldn't work in a smaller town further north or in another state. But in South Florida, it's dog eat dog. I mean, I'm telling you, it's rough down there. So he'll be as aggressive to gain control with the customer in South Florida as he wants to be, and the customer, enough customers will actually accept that treatment and buy a car. So that's the reason you don't want to buy a car in South Florida. Okay, then he's going. I'm going to talk to the manager, get a price. He said one last question: if the numbers I show you are where you'd like to be, will you be doing business today? And that's the out of the old school book. If the price is right, will you buy today? And if you say no, they won't give you a price. I mean, hard to make up. I said yes, but you're going to have to be at MSRP or below. So if you can make that happen, I'll move forward. A few minutes later, he returned with this sheet, and that was the worksheet that we all know that we're going to listen to the show. And the bottom line was it was well above MSRP. And listen to this. Talk about a lying guy. And he said, Japanese cars don't have markups like American. I mean, just an out lie. It's not just a lie, it's a stupid lie. He went on to say that he could maybe shave off $1,000 or more. How do you shave? How do you shave off $1,000? But he doesn't care what he says. He's already discounting it from MSRP. I thanked him for his time, stood up. Cruz jumped to his feet and pretty much begged me to wait to talk to his manager, so they know he's actually working. Yeah, they're going to fire me. They're going to fire me. So, and it's true. I mean, that's the way they're just as nasty with their salespeople as they are with the customers in South Florida. Just then, my cell phone rang, so I walked outside of the car. He came running up and tried to stop me, but I left. And that's the report. And I hate to say this, but we grade on the curve, and a lot of you are saying, "What do you mean? If that's not an F, what is an F?" Well, you'll have to trust me on this. I mean, there are worse dealers down there, and there are worse Toyota dealers in South Florida. It is truly the Sodom and Gomorrah of car dealerships. It gets me mad when I think about it. My dealership in North Palm Beach, even though we're still technically in South Florida, we have a lot of dealers that come up from Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and you hear some of them, they'll call the show, and they tell us what a wonderful dealership we have. Well, I believe we have a wonderful dealership, but I know we have faults, and I know we have rotten apples in the barrel, and one of the reasons we look so good, because we're not in South Florida. I mean, we're in northern South Florida, but the further south you go, I'm not sure about Key West. That's pretty far south. That might not be so bad, but you get my drift. So if you can possibly keep between B and D, do it. But if you can't, I understand in this case. So we'll go around and check and see what the votes are, and we'll even ask ChatGPT to vote on it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll remind you can vote at 772-497-6530. Now we'll go to Rick.
Well, first one I got is Tom Steckel. He says, D-, very aggressive sales approach. However, $1,400 in junk fees is less than the $1,725 that Sport Mazda in Orlando charges.
Really? Wow.
So, Orlando getting a little black eye there.
Yeah, they're kind of Orlando's almost like South Florida. That's a big city, yeah.
That's South Florida moving up a little, huh?
Right.
Tim Gilliland says D-. Brian Sedlatko says, don't walk but run out of that dealership. F. Over here, we're still waiting for him to come in. Bob in Maryland says, according to ChatGPT, this is an F in Japanese. And he gives the Japanese kanji symbol. Let's see here. Okay. Cram 1624 says F. Their advertising says, go to Gunther. Yes, go out the door. Johnny Z. Fradley says, the 2026 cars are almost here. They need a bigger discount. D. Nate Miller says, I couldn't hit D on my keyboard quick enough. This is enough to upset my stomach. Somebody pass me the Pepto-Bismol. Baby Boomer says, I don't care where you're located. Big F. South Florida Two-Step says, we definitely need Stu back to write the report. D. Extremely aggressive, but considering that, the junk fees were cheap, but still not acceptable. See if we get any more coming in here. And I think we are caught up for right now, but I'll pop in if we get any more coming up. For me, I will respect avoiding throwing the F out there, but I'm going to say it's a D minus because the whole Japanese cars don't do a markup and come on, dude, really? This is 2025. All these tactics are from like 1975.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I
Grow
agree,
up
Rick.
and be a human being a little bit here.
Okay.
So D minus from me.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, on so many occasions, you know, your intelligence is questioned when you go in to buy a vehicle, and the tactics that are used, the list is endless. Buyer beware. Knowledge is power. I give them an F.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, and I'm gonna give them a D minus only because I made that speech about the curve. But boy, I tell you, I'd love to give them an F, and I love to close them down. Is what I love to do. We get angry at these dealers, and who we really should be angry at are the regulators. And the regulators are just flat not doing their job, folks. We pick on the attorney generals of the states, and that's probably a good place to pick on. But all the regulators, and even the agencies, the Better Business Bureau. The Better Business Bureau, who pays the dues to the Better Business Bureau? The car dealers do.
Mm-hmm.
In any business, they pay the dues. So the businesses control the Better Business Bureau, and they, if they fail a dealer or fail any business, then guess what happens? I got when I was younger and I was in the business, I got mad at the Better Business Bureau one year, and I didn't pay my dues. And so then somebody told me I was crazy, and I was. So the next year, I said, okay, I'm going to join again. Well, I'd been a member of the Business Bureau for 25 years. I'd been around longer than anybody else, so that was good, because they tell you, oh, he's been in the Better Business Bureau for 25 years. So when I renewed, they wouldn't let me say that I'd been with the Better Business Bureau before, so I had to say I've been in the Better, 1 year. They punished me.
Yeah.
And now, fortunately, I've been around so long. Now I'm the oldest, and I'm afraid to quit because they'll.
Amazing.
I digress so much, I forgot what I'm doing.
We were going to ask Coach for his opinion on the mystery shopping report.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, let's hope he's awake. I'm gonna hit the little button here. Hey, Coach, you awake? Yo, Coach. We need your grade on the mystery shopping report. Maybe you went out to get a cup of coffee. Coach, where the hell are you? Well, I tell you what, you're really getting on my nerves now. You're sitting here popping your little bubble back and forth and laughing at me, right? Yeah. All right. To hell with you. Sorry, folks. What a day. I did say, did I say D minus? D minus. I did.
Yeah.
I just be.
How much time do we have?
8 minutes.
It's all yours.
Okay. Let's talk about regulators again. And here's something interesting in the automotive news. For those of you who are streaming, you'll be able to hopefully see this article that says court upholds 20-year ban on marketing firm used by dealerships. And I'll hold that up. Court upholds 20-year ban on a marketing company. Now, you don't see enough of that, but let's face it, the marketing companies, the advertising...
Absolutely, Professor.
Oh.
Those technologies really do transform how safe and confident people feel on the road. If you have any other questions,
no,
just let me know.
and would you please be quiet because I'm not talking to you anymore, all right? Okay? I'm right in the middle of something here. So I'm going to take Coach out back and beat the hell out of him is what I'm going to do. So anyway, the name of this particular company that was banned from advertising is Traffic Jam Events, and the president of this outfit was David. So I read this in Automotive News, the current issue, and I said, that sounds familiar. So I checked around, and guess what? The same company that has been banned, and the ban was upheld by the judge, is Traffic Jam Events, is still in business. And they're doing marketing for dealerships in Florida and all over the country. So, regulators, you're listening to me right now. Somebody must be listening to me that has an affiliation with these regulators. Here's a company that banned a marketing company for 20 years on marketing for newer used car dealerships, but they're doing it, and you don't care, or I know you don't know about it. So I could attack almost any regulator, including the attorney generals. I mentioned Better Business Bureaus before, folks. You can make all the laws you want and all the rules you want, but if you don't enforce them, I laugh about speed limits, and we accept it. Anybody that's ever traveled on an interstate, turnpike or I-95 or any knows that the speed limits are a joke. Why do you have a law on a speed limit if you don't enforce it? If you think it's too slow, then raise the speed limit. Duh. I mean, it's common sense. So I'm using this as an analogy, a comparison. You get on Interstate 95 and you get in the passing lane, and if the speed limit there is 65 or 75, it varies, you'll be rear-ended. Going 65 or 75 on I-95 is dangerous. If you obey the law, it's dangerous. And that's what I'm saying to the regulators about the car dealers. That's a good comparison. Because think about it. A guy gets a car dealership, and he goes in competition with Gunther Volkswagen in South Florida. And he opens his Volkswagen store, and he's going to obey all the laws. He's not going to lie, cheat, and steal. He's going to put his real price in his advertisements. His competitor, 3 miles away, is lying to the public and beating his real price by $3,000. What happens? They go into Gunther Volkswagen, and they flim-flam him, knock him around, lie, cheat, and steal, and they buy the car from Gunther Volkswagen. What happens to the good guy that's obeying the laws? He goes out of business. So the regulators are creating the problems that they pretend that they're trying to make better. And who out there doesn't understand? I'd love to have someone, a regulator. If you were the County Office of Consumer Affairs, the Better Business Bureau, the State Attorney's Office, call me email me, text me, anything, and tell me why I'm wrong. I don't get it. It's like, and you can apply the same thing to national government, where all you got to do is look at the news. You see what's going on right now. The Democrats are fighting the Republicans, and the conservatives are fighting the liberals, and it's all about yak and talk and no substance. And people say they're going to do something, and they don't do it, and they do something else.
Absolutely. Their intent just to muddy the waters, keep everyone confused.
Yeah. But we still have the greatest country on earth, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, God help them, the other countries. I mean, if we're the best, then we are.
We are.
I mean, I'm not going to Australia or Romania or Mexico.
Yeah.
I love America to live, but we could be so much better.
We definitely could. Absolutely. Okay, Jonathan.
Maybe Jonathan could sing a song for us.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We got the Sturgeon Moon, and guess what else?
Shine on.
We got
Shine on, Sturgeon Moon. Way up in
It was
the
so
sky.
cloudy this morning. Even
I ain't had no loving since January, February.
Hey, pull yourself
June,
together.
July. Okay.
Rick, what do you have?
I got one here that y'all are just going to love this one.
Yeah.
This is from, I think it may be from John in Palm City. But anyways, here goes. The most important accessory to come along, feature to come along, is the automatic transmission from 1941, available on Cadillacs for $115 extra. It enabled women to drive also who didn't know standard shift.
Watch out.
Whoa.
Says,
Thanks,
this is
John.
not AI, this is John from Palm City, if my memory serves correctly. John?
Interesting.
Oh. Nancy may be coming to see you sometime soon here.
But Nancy is aggressive as she is. Recognize that, I mean, it is true that in 1927, us genius men would not allow women to vote. Now, that's a fact, right? And so it just, can you imagine that? I mean, that's not, to me, that's not that far long ago. My mother was in high school then. So can you imagine being a woman in high school in 1927 or so, and your mother couldn't vote, and your grandmother couldn't vote, and all the women you know couldn't vote? I mean,
You're giving me the chills.
yeah. So we've come a long way, but we got a
Definitely.
long way to go.
Definitely. Hey, and good news. Guess what? It is football season next month. Hey, Earl, how would you like to go to
We
Dublin?
ran out of time. Shut up.
How would you like to go? That's not going to shut me up. How'd you like to go to Dublin with me in September? Got a big Steeler game going on.
Dublin? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, folks, thank you for tuning in to Earl on Cars. We so appreciate you. You're a huge part of the show. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll be right back here, the Oldies channel at 8 a.m. Have a great weekend.